In this video we travel out of sight of land for the first time. We find some really incredible water and Candice does her best to distract me while I'm trying to fly my drone. And we're on the way again. We might be leaving Pulla for what could be the last time. And there's the entranceway I used to stare out of, and the first one I left when I got the boat on the water. And now we are heading south. We're hoping to be in Zada at the end of the month, and we'll be keeping going south after that. We had a boro last night, a very strong northeasterly, probably 20 to 25 knots. Prediction was that it would die down today, and it looks like it has died down. It looks like we've got very still air at the moment. Almost no wind, a little bit blowing. Let's see how things go. So at the moment we've got 1860 watts on the motors. We're doing a good speed. We're doing 4.5 knots, 4.2. Every time I tell people the knots we go slow. No, about 4.5 knots. And we're heading south. We're going to an anchorage that is 10 miles away. To prepare for a big crossing tomorrow. The first time we'll be out of sight of land is tomorrow. How do you feel about being out of sight of land for a while tomorrow?
I'm a little worried, but then you showed me how many boats are already going in that direction.
Yeah.
So I think if we got into danger, maybe it'd be busy enough that maybe we could be helped.
Oh, there'd be loads of boats. It's kind of the boat highway between us and Dalmatia crosses that point, so nothing to worry about, except the usual. How are the dogs doing?
They're good.
Oh, they're so tired.
They're tired because they had their teeth cleaned yesterday.
Oh, the pups.
So they're a little sore.
Let's see if we can find them some dolphins. There is a very big super yacht in the distance there. I haven't seen a yacht that size in the water yet. At least not while we're sailing. Let's see if I can get a better view of it. That is a big boat. Can't make out any names or anything like that. Maybe I'll see if I can see what it is on AIS. So the yacht's name is Luminance and it's 145 meters long. It is gigantic.
How much?
145 meters long. It's basically a private cruise ship. It's massive. Anyway, we're still doing 1850 watts and we're doing 5 knots at the moment, so we must have a bit of current helping us along. It's going very well. None of the boats have their sails up, and I think for the next few days all of the boats are going to be motoring, which suits me quite well. Sorry about the radio noise. Not much in this landscape, but we're going past a lighthouse now that's been turned into a hotel, it looks like. It looks very pretty actually. They've got a great view, but very little around them, so you better like nature. And we've just anchored on our first stop in our trip south through Croatia, and we're in a place called Istrian, which is just east of Medellin, but around the point on the other side. There's a very big hotel you can see behind me. It looks like some beach sand almost, and some cars behind. We are anchored just outside the mooring ball field over here, and I think we'll spend the night here, and then tomorrow we head out in that direction for our biggest open sea crossing yet, which is quite exciting. So yesterday we were coming in, and this boat joined us a little while later, and it looked very familiar, and it's another Cadillac. It's the first time we've seen a Cadillac out on the water. This is an 8-meter cat, and a newer model from 1985, the owner tells me. And so the 8 meters got one double cabin on the side of the boat I'm on now, and a head on the other side. And then the living area kind of ends where we've got the scullery in the back and the bathroom on the other side. They don't have any of that. And obviously it's a meter shorter. But yeah, nice to see another one out on the water. Let me see if I can get the name of the boat. There we go, it's called After All, and this is one of the outboard powered versions. Looks like it's quite light as well. Obviously it's not a liveaboard. And we're leaving the Istrian peninsula and heading into the island, and I'm quite looking forward to it. Looks like it might be a good day to sail, so hopefully we'll get the sails out, but at the moment I have 2,000 knots going into the motors. We're doing 4.2 knots, wind coming from, what is it coming from, about 55 degrees. That's 7 knots, so definitely a day I can get the sails out. I'll get distance from land a little bit, and then I'll turn back into wind, and we will get the mainsail up and to know. So we can have a nice quick crossing. Alright, and we're sailing. I've just got enough power going into the motors to turn the props so they don't drag in the water. And we're doing 4.8 knots, 4.9 knots. How was your first day sailing, Candice?
I get a terrible dehydration headache.
Oh, let's get you to drink more.
I think it's the water maker.
I think it's the water maker. Somebody can let us know if the water maker gives you dehydration headaches too. The batteries are full, so we might as well motor sail and go even faster. So I'm going to add a little bit of power on the motors, maybe 500-600 watts each, not much. Okay, 600 watts on each motor. We're doing 5.5 knots, which is enough for me. The wind is 10 knots from 70 degrees at the moment, so there we go, 5.7, 5.8 knots. Happy speed, we should get to our destination nice and quickly like this. And that's what 5.8 knots looks like flying onto the back of the boat. The wind got a little bit lighter. We had 10 knots on the beam and we were doing 5.5 knots, which is great. It's now only 8 knots on the beam, but my batteries are full, so I've just upped the power a little bit and we're still doing 5.5 knots, which is good. We now have got 700 watts on each motor. Normally with 700 watts on each motor we'll be doing about 3.5, 4 knots or so. If we're lucky, maybe 3.5. But with sails we got the extra speed boost going. The beauty of motor sailing, there's 6 knots of wind and I'm doing 5.3 knots. This boat is definitely not very efficient, but batteries are full. Keep pushing power into the motors and the batteries stay full, but it means that I can basically move along at 5 knots all the time when there's a little bit of a breeze. This is great. And we've made it to the other side, our biggest crossing. We've got a lot of boat traffic now, including this one in front of us that's tacked in front of us and then turned away, and tacked in front of us and turned away, or at least what looked like tacking away. So this has been how we've been getting around the last few days. Instead of taking the dinghy down and all the rest, we've just been hopping on the sup. Candice is having a bit of a snorkel. Oops, Napoleon's nearly falling off the front of the boat. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so many fish.
Being a completely uninhabited island meant that the water was incredibly clear here. That night I got up in the middle of the night and the only lights were from the boats at the anchor. And it was incredibly clear. You could see the whole Milky Way. I don't know how well this is going to get picked up on video, but it was the darkest I've ever seen anything. It was incredible. So we've left our anchorage on the beautiful island of Unia, and we're heading south to an island called Ilovik. And Candice, what did you think of the island we were on yesterday? How did you enjoy it?
It's some of the most beautiful waters we've ever seen, but it kind of acts like a little bit of a funnel for everybody's litter. So there was a little bit of a shame, but I think the sailors should all take a little bit of responsibility as guardians and just pick up a little bit of litter as you see it, and I think we can make that place seriously beautiful if we acted like guardians.
Okay, and today we have only a few knots of wind on the nose. I was hoping we could get the sails out like yesterday. So we're going in a similar path to the sailboat on the right earlier, and if we get a bit of wind, I will put the sails up again, because it definitely increased our speed. Instead of doing our 4 to 4.5 knots, we're doing 5.5 to 6 knots a lot of the time. So it is a nice speed boost. We don't need to do it. We could happily motor all the way to Ilavik, but faster is always more fun. At the moment I'm doing just about 4 knots. I've got 750 watts on each motor, so very easy going. I'm waiting for the batteries to charge, and then I will increase the power. If the solitary life appeals to you, this is probably a good place to stay. Have your own island. Not even a tree to keep you company, not even a decent tree. Finally doing decent speed again. We've got 6 knots of wind from 60-ish degrees, 1.5 kilowatts going into the motors, and we're doing just over 5 knots. Ooh, a little bit over 5 knots. So motor sailing really does give you a lot of speed boost. And the nice thing is the batteries are full as well, so we'll get to our destination with our batteries full. This is the kind of the middle of Lozenge Island. I think Mali Lozenge is in the gap there, but we're going to the south of this. We just got waked by a police boat, massive wake, absolutely huge, but fortunately not too much fell over. Yeah, we've got a boat that's probably not motor sailing, so I'm going to keep an eye on it for a while and see if we do overtake it like we hopefully should. They've got more waterline length obviously, but I don't think they're running their motors at the moment, so let's watch it for a few minutes. So the wind has turned, it's now coming from a 30-degree angle, and it's lightened, it's coming from 6 knots. I'm still motor sailing at 5 knots, and we are definitely catching this boat. Now, catamarans are notorious for not being able to point into the wind much at all. And I'm pointing into the wind more than them, and I'm overtaking them, so I think we probably have a group of very confused people on that sailboat over there, which should be outsailing us quite significantly. There we go, comfortably in lead. Yeah, I think they're probably wondering why they didn't hear any engines, and it's because my engines can't be heard, which is nice. Somebody's looking very cozy on the boat. Hello. Is that the sailing position?
Yeah.
You and the dogs, lying flat. It's a lovely day today. One of the things when I built my first electric bike, which was years ago, so 2006 or so, is whenever you stopped next to some other cyclists, they would call you a cheater. And I always found it quite funny, because I was out cycling just to get to places, whereas most people were in their car to get to places, and nobody called them a cheater. But I suspect that if I had to tell the boat that I had my electric motor on, they'd also call me a cheater. But all I'm doing is using the sun to make the boat go faster. I'm still using the elements, it's just the elements now are not just the wind, it's the wind and the sun. My batteries are still full, they're filling up in fact. So it's not like I'm burning any fossil fuels or doing anything like that to go faster. I'm literally just going faster. And, there they are behind me now. Let's see if I can focus on them. Where are they? There we go. Hello. And the end of our sailing for now. The wind died down completely to just 3 knots. It was just making the sails flog. And I know we've only got 45 minutes to go. So I've put 2,100 watts into the motors, and we're doing just over 5 knots. So we'll get there nice and quickly and easily. And because it's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll have lots of time for the sun to recharge any excess battery that we're using at the moment. So that's what we're up to right now. And we've arrived at Ilavik. We're anchored in 5 meters of water, but it's the clearest water I've ever seen. Candace thought yesterday's water was even clearer, but not near as Iceland. This is clearer than anything I've ever seen before. Anchor's nicely set. You can see the bottom there where there's clear sand and some grass. We're anchored in grass, which is sorry, we're not anchored in grass, we're anchored in the sand, which is quite nice. And this is the little bay, protected from all sides except anything with a southerly in it, but there's no predicted southerlies coming tonight, so we should sleep well over here. These are our new neighbours, quite a big motor yacht, and I'm really hoping they keep their jet skis on board for the night, because I don't feel like listening to jet skis while getting waked by them in the evening. And later that day I got the drone up, of course, and got to do some nice filming in the area. Candice was doing her best to distract me while flying, but I'm a true professional, so I managed to keep everything under control. We'll have another video up soon. In the meantime, I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas, and we'll have a very good Happy New Year coming up in the next few days. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you later.